all right. कितने साल हो गए ना? Like
Since
since the world began or the world ended, like
and
actually.
it's never gonna end.
But you know what?
Yeah.
It's so weird because today I ordered like I don't know whether you. This is so bloody off topic. It's not even a dot. Like it's so far away.
Mm.
There's this company called Prosuma that makes these frozen momos, which is
Yeah.
out of the world. I
Yeah.
swear to God, I think they put cocaine in it because it's so addictive.
Yeah.
But so I for the weekend I wanted to keep some frozen stock.
Huh.
So I ordered, and the guy came right up to my door. So they're allowing. So basically, things must be getting better. That's why they're allowing deliveries to kind of
Okay.
reach our doors, because there were
No.
cops planted all over our society, like society and neighborhood, where
Yeah.
to kind of make sure that people weren't doing chumachati.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to give my 2 bits about Prasuma. I think it's one of the most delicious cured meats packaged brand out there. So much so
I
that they should
agree.
be paying us for promoting them here.
I
Even though we
swear.
had no plan. But I actually was at a friend's house, and she once made these sheikh kebabs.
So you
And
mean me to go, right? Me to go overall.
through Meetigo,
I mean,
I
because
usually buy them if I'm at a Dorabji's and all Prasumas, and a lot of you get them
got
at
it, got
Food
it. Yeah,
Hall,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
get them at Nature's
Yeah,
Basket. They are everywhere.
got
But
it.
yeah, there are some online portals that also sell it. But my mouth is watering now. The sheikh kebabs from Prasuma, the mutton sheikh kebabs, are better than most sheikh kebabs that I've had anywhere else on the road or in restaurants. They're so juicy. So juicy. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, on that note, since we're having a happy Farhad day today, so
What the fuck does that mean? I've had a few grumpy weeks, and I'm a grumpy Farhad today too. I'm
but
kind of
hey,
just
we talked
I'm
about sheikh kebab, so well, let
I'm
that be a slight positive. But
great.
yeah, on today's episode, let's dive right into TikTok, which is the segment where we talk about news that affects us, or that kind of brought us
Yeah.
brought us to thinking something.
Go
So
for it. What's
yeah, so this isn't an extremely recent in the sense that it didn't happen yesterday or in the week prior. It happened around 10 or 15 days back. So there was this case that this high court judge was kind of overseeing, and his name's Justice N Anand Venkatesh. I was really happy to hear, there's a statement that he made about how, and it was a case about one of those common things where someone who's who's queer sort of ran away from home and started living with their partner, and so it was a case like that, and and his statement being on the case was really really heartwarming, because what he said was that I need to be more woke. Like, times have evolved. I also need to evolve, and I don't want to be someone who's judging this till I have a little more in-depth understanding of what this is, because I don't understand
Yeah.
queer relationships, same-sex relationships.
He looks also very cute in that picture, saying, "I need counseling, guys."
Yeah, and he said that I'm not sufficiently woke on queer issues to be able to kind of do this in the right way possible. And he said that I want to engage in sessions with counselors in order to evolve, so that I can go through some kind of evolution. And I thought that was a great marker for everyone across, anyone who kind of has someone's life in their hands, be it parents, be it bosses. I think we should take a second to understand where this person was coming from, to understand that he acknowledged that he's probably been in stasis on one issue. And we need to recognize where we are in stasis when it comes to issues, especially queer issues, because it's such a fluid constantly evolving field. And yeah, parents take note. I don't know if parents listen to us. Mostly children listen to our podcast, but if you're facing any kind of censure from your parents, why don't you use this as an opportunity to start a conversation, to say, see, there's someone who's such a revered position in society and in terms of like profession, who's accepting their limitation and who wants to evolve.
Exactly. I was just going to say about how it's common for us to hear about stories of change, but it's rare to come across the need to change, the want to change. And this story is that, right? Where he is coming out and he's saying, hey, I need to change. And that's rare. And I felt like that's why even when I came across the little, when I read about that, I was like, oh, such a cute little man. Like, he's so cute. Yeah. I did not. I this week I just zoned out. I did come across this piece of news, but I zoned out and I literally tried to just avoid, not only because of what's going on.
I get it. Yeah.
It's now it's like just the internet is a sensory overload, you know.
It is, and it's just something you need to take a break from.
I find myself missing TikTok so much, like in this time, because I want mindless entertainment, and TikTok was that. And I almost feel like it's almost going to be a death anniversary because we are about to reach a year since TikTok was banned.
I swear, yeah.
But yeah, sometimes I'm just scavenging. I'm on other sites looking for TikToks. So I'm on Tumblr, I'm looking for TikToks. I'm on Reddit looking for TikToks, Twitter, Instagram. I'm just looking for TikToks everywhere else to just keep my mind away from, because it's mental. And
yeah, I know.
People who are actively participating in this whole, hey guys, hospital beds here, hey, verify this, ICU there, and oxygen. I have mad respect for them,
I swear,
but I would break down in 24 hours. I would just, I can't, I cannot anymore. So I just stayed away from the news. But that little news really did make my week.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, on that note, let's move on to our main segment after a quick breather.
A very relatable main segment today.
Yeah. We'll be
Let's
right back.
Okay.
And we're back. So, what are we talking about, Farhad?
Excuse the hair, first of all. I don't know what
excuse my hair, please.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm having such a bad hair day.
Okay. Yours is one of those, to someone else it looks nice, but I know mine genuinely looks like shit universally. To everyone, if they saw, they were like, what is going on with Farhad's hair? So, you look nice, Sunetro. I don't deal with it. Okay.
I'm so glad I at least don't have that potato on the side of my cheek anymore. So,
what are you doing? Oh, that. Okay. The tooth thing. Oh my God. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Okay. I guess we can just get into it. I wanted to speak about something that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about this week.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know how you feel about it, but we could just talk over that. So here's the deal, right? Throughout this pandemic, throughout this quarantine, a lot of alone time has happened, and obviously that has made me feel like, even though on one level, I feel so self-sufficient and self-partnered, as I always say. I've enjoyed it. I have repeatedly had some kind of subconscious voice constantly telling me that, wow, you are ready for a new relationship. You are ready for a new relationship. But I cannot help but feel that in the event of once all of this is over and I am actually presented with a relationship, I will just be as much of a commitment phobe as I was pre-pandemic. So basically, what I wanted to talk about, which is something that dogs everybody, not just us in the gay community, the LGBTQ community, but commitment issues, right, are a thing. So I just wanted to kind of explore that landscape. What do you think about it? Do you have let's start with that. How do you feel about commitment, Sunetro?
So here's the thing. Would I slot myself as a commitment phobe? I'm not. But I commit to something when I'm clear about it. And if there is if there is even 99% clarity, then I don't commit to it. Like, I need to have 100% clarity about something, and maybe to a fault. Like, that's you know, a flaw. But yeah, like, I think I find myself stopping myself from committing to anything, be it a relationship, be it doing something, taking something through. Because for me, if I commit to something, I'm in it for good. I As long as the terms and conditions sort of stay. So
Sorry, what kind of what
so here's the thing:
roughly
like
terms and conditions?
you commit to something thinking of it as um uh,
A foreseeable future thing.
no, not just
Okay.
that. Like it's you commit to something because it you get something out of something. And I know this sounds very transactional, but truth is
Okay.
that's what it is.
Okay.
You are with a person because that person makes you happy, or that
Hmm.
person inspires you, or that person is rich,
Hmm.
or whatever. So there is a reason why you commit to someone or
Hmm.
something.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's what I mean by terms and conditions. If that reason goes away,
Hmm.
then, for example, if someone does not make you happy anymore, if someone doesn't inspire you anymore, if
Hmm.
someone is a reason for you to not be um, joyous, if that
Hmm.
person sucks the life out of you suddenly,
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
do you want to stay committed to that person?
Hmm.
No. So that's what I mean. That
But
if those
have you ever in the past found yourself questioning your ability to commit, or you've always been like dead sure in that department that okay, it's transactional. This is what I like. This is what I'm getting. So I'll commit. This is. Has there
um
ever been?
I've questioned am I self sufficient to a dangerous degree? Like I've
Okay.
questioned that. Like I've questioned whether do I
What's the
need
answer?
people? Like have I made the need for someone redundant
Hmm. Hmm.
in my life? And does that mean that there will be transient people traveling through my life?
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't want to find a theoretical answer to that. I want to find a
Sure.
practical answer
Sure.
to that through by living through it.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Rainer
yeah,
Rilke, famous poet. Live the questions and you'll arrive into the answers yourselves.
yeah, yeah.
Uh
What
yeah,
about you?
man.
Like, are
Huh,
you a
I don't know.
commitment phobe?
I I I I I don't know. I don't know honestly because I've been in multiple relationships.
Hmm.
I feel like I've committed entirely. I've been there. I've even though I might have fucked up and all, but I was there. I was
Hmm.
present, you know, constantly present in every relationship. Uh but now I've been single for so long that I don't know what commitment even involves anymore. What
Hmm.
like the base question, right? If this topic is commitment issues, I don't even know what am I committing to anymore in a
Hmm.
relationship. Like for example, and maybe you can also help me process this a little. Sorry, how long have you been single now?
Um.
If is that's an okay question to ask,
Yeah.
right?
Like I think it's 3 years.
3 years. I'm
Yeah.
five now,
Yeah.
almost 4 to 5 years, and I just don't know how to live with another person. So I don't know how to
Hmm.
commit in that sense.
Hmm.
I know what I want to commit to, right? I want to commit to being there for someone. I
Yeah.
want to commit to making someone a better person. I
Hmm.
want to commit to myself being a better individual around someone else.
Hmm.
I want to
Hmm.
commit to all those things.
Hmm.
But I don't know if I want to put in the work ever because of how much work it is,
Hmm.
and how much of work it's been just working on myself,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it's a
Hmm.
never ending process.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Sometimes some people ask me, oh, do you ever want kids? And I'm like, fuck, I did not know becoming an adult was. I am the kid and I have to take care of myself all the time and I fuck up all the time. So, kid to dur ki baat, matlab, you know what I mean? So, I wouldn't know how to commit in terms of what are the dynamics of relationships now anymore. Like, am I supposed to be politically correct? Am I supposed to be not as I am, like
Hmm.
free willed, or I don't know anymore. So
But
that
what?
scares me to
So
commit.
let's.
That
I
scares
mean,
me to commit, basically.
what would you commit to? Like, what would you be looking forward to committing to?
I know I
Given
just
your.
said I'm scared to work on a new relationship, but actually, I do want to work towards something with someone
Hmm.
in my life. And that's something I want to commit to.
Hmm.
Like, just and I don't know, sometimes I feel guilty saying that, even because so many times my advice to so many people is, hey, you need to be self-sufficient, you need to be, you you come first before you add someone, right? And right enough, I feel comfortable saying that I am that right now in life.
Hmm.
But my problem is, am I too much of that? Am I
Hmm.
too much of, I am so okay, I don't know how to fit another jigsaw piece in this puzzle anymore, you know?
Hmm.
So
So, one thing that I felt, and this is very uh, contextual right now
hmm,
in the middle of the pandemic, I do also feel, and I'll come to the question, I do also feel that the dynamics and idiosyncrasies of committing to a relationship have, the game has changed because of the pandemic. Um,
hmm,
Primarily because of w- example, you and me, we were forced to sequester ourselves alone.
hmm.
Um, and in the middle of that, we were forced to sequester ourselves in a way that we had to be self-sufficient emotionally, physically, in every way
Financially,
possibly,
every,
financially.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in that sort of a scenario, you can't. Have you ever thought that maybe this is a situation that I want to glide over,
Hmm.
and then there shall be a time for it,
Cross
or
the bridge when it
cross the
comes.
bridge when it comes. Have you thought about that, or are you thinking of this as life, or are you waiting for this to get over?
No, so here's the deal, right? I'm so happy that we are talking about this in context of the pandemic, because so many times I feel like I'm only feeling these things because there is a pandemic happening,
Hmm.
because of how things are. For example, lately, I'll tell you something. I find myself very easily being that person, like I was as a teenager. I easily get feelings for people online nowadays,
Yeah.
feelings in terms of like, oh my God, I would totally date this person when the
Hmm.
pandemic is over. Everything ends with when the pandemic is over. I
Hmm.
am totally, oh my God, I can't wait for the pandemic. Then I would date this person. And again, I don't want this to make this a very, oh, I'm ready to date, but I'm very ready to commit. And now I'm starting to feel like, wow, you want to commit to a lot of to a lot of things and a lot of people after this whole thing is over. So it's again, it's something I'm not being able to process, that if it's about crossing the bridge when it comes, let's say, okay, there is a mass announcement, Narendra Modi's on and he's like, congratulations, you all can get out of your house, and we all are fine and everything's okay. Sorry, I brought him up. uh, so, okay, Sunetro, I can hear you eye rolling here. Oh my God, relax. But what I'm trying to say is, all of this is over. I feel like in the event of it actually being a reality where, oh my God, I love this guy. This guy
Hmm.
likes
Hmm.
me. Let's see how it works. And when it comes to that, I don't know if I'll suddenly be my old self and just be flaky
Hmm.
and a commitment issue person,
Hmm.
it's something I don't feel guilty about being also, I
Yeah.
because that's another thing, right? It's a part of meme culture to talk about how everybody is a commitment phobe nowadays, so I know I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
uh but let's look at that side of the whole thing. How do you feel? Have you ever been in a situation where you were in it, but the person was a commitment phobe, the other person was a commitment phobe, or had commitment issues? Have you ever found yourself in that kind of situation?
No, no, no. No. I've always been very fortunate to be in relationships with people who were more in it than me.
Okay, let
Like,
me
and I
mold
don't
this.
want to make it sound
No,
like, oh,
no,
main to
no.
kitna superstar tha. They were more in love with me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they just were better people than me. Like,
Oh,
in every relationship.
okay.
For me, I'll tell you, when it comes to relationships, I always, I think there's always been a subconscious part of me which makes it, uh, like, I force myself to
Okay.
not make my relationship my first priority.
Okay.
Like, I want me to be my first priority, and that, as a result of that, my work becomes my first priority or my passions become my first priority, of course the relationship is important because I get so much joy out of it. But yeah, like I think I've been very fortunate to be with people uh, who've been very into it more than me.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me mold my question a little differently. Also, have you found yourself in a situation where you were entirely committing, but the other person was not as much there?
No, because that's where my the problems arise. Where if I commit to something when I'm 100% sure of it. Like I know 100% that we're in it in a
That's
big
almost a
way.
superpower because I would never know, honestly. I
I
would never
like
know beforehand,
I
oh,
need
this
to
is
know
something I want to commit or invest in. I would
like
never
I
know.
need to know that this person's into this as at least as much as I am into this, in the near ballpark basically.
Mm-mm.
Otherwise what am I like, am I just wasting time? So so that's what, like I'm happy having fun, I'm happy dabbling with someone, I'm happy being in a space where we are each other's temporary joy. But committing, I need to see a sign, like I just the way, like I like making it clear. Like I remember there's this one of my exes, I think, um and this was one of those relationships where I think was part of my adulting. This was my first relationship that I stepped into once I came to Bombay. uh, so we were in a long distance relationship for like a couple of months, and then there was one day when we were chatting, and then he just said very clearly that, are you in this? So my way of saying it was, "I'm sorry, yeah, no." He's trying to, she's trying to,
It sounded like that was your response to him. Sorry,
no,
yeah? No.
sorry. She's trying to eat a moth. Like, no,
Amazing.
shush. So,
Moth
yeah. So, and I was trying to be all like, abstract. And I said something to the effect of, I don't believe in labels. And he was like, no, stop that bullshit. No. Are you in this? Are we in this? It's a yes or no question. And when he said that, I realized that that's what I always need to do. And that's what I always need to get the answer to. This is a yes or no question. Are you in it or are you not? And I said, yes, I'm in this.
Wow.
And that's the thing, you ask yourself, what are you scared of? And if you can't answer in the next 10 seconds, then it's okay. You will have trepidation, but on that note, I'll just say you will have some kind of fear, because I got 3 people messaging me saying that I use really big words. Long hair is good.
What?
Long
You
word.
don't?
Listen, 1 second. Literally, the words are long. Your long hair is beautiful. Your long words aren't. No, as in it wasn't to say that it's not beautiful. It was just to say I have to sit with it with a dictionary sometimes when I'm listening to you. So yeah. So you do have fear,
So trepidation.
not trepidation, fear. So fear and doubt and stuff like that. So I I go head on to say, are we doing this? And that's what all my consequent relationships, that was the question I asked everyone. And it was good because we were both in it for the same, like, in the same ballpark of commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that, because now that I think of it, I might not be I might not be averse to commitment, but I feel my overthinking side is what makes me overanalyze
Mm.
something beforehand. Like you said, right now for you it can be an easy yes or a no,
Mm.
but for me it will never be an easy yes or a no, because I will overthink everything. So if someone suddenly said it's a yes or a no, you have to say it now, I would be like, but what about this, but what about this, but what about that, but what about this? I don't know. I feel like i i i i, I I can commit, I think. I don't know. I don't. Okay, why do you think people are such? What's your take on it? Why do you feel like people are so? For example, I can immediately pin it on the landscape of dating now, right? Because Choice. I feel choice is one of the biggest reasons why commitment issues develop,
No,
because
so sure, but I also do think, and this is a very India specific problem. Um, there is lack of clarity in terms of where do we go ultimately? Where are we heading? Sure,
sorry,
we'll
why
be
is that
commit
an India thing?
because for Indians there is no clarity in terms of where we ultimately end up.
Okay.
In terms of like the larger India, uh, are we? If I like, do I need to plan? The thought of moving into a direction which is defined and concrete
Hmm.
uh, entails really serious thoughts of maybe leaving the country or maybe being so rich that it won't matter where you stay, with whom you
Hmm.
stay, and those are big thoughts, right? Like
Hmm.
those thoughts sort of subsume this one. Oh,
Hmm.
sorry, those thoughts sort of take over this
Hmm.
one thought of just being committed or being in
Yeah.
love with someone, and
Yeah.
that can be overwhelming
Hmm.
with a
Hmm.
straight couple. And I'm not saying that doesn't come with its tensions and its
Hmm.
doubts
Hmm.
and stuff like that, but
Hmm.
with a straight couple, that there is a society created milestone, at least, that
Hmm.
if not
Hmm.
anything, you can follow that path loosely,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
humko we will have a registered relationship where
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
share something legally, and
Hmm.
then we can have an ugly shit of thing that comes out of us, which uh,
Woo!
which will ruin our lives later,
Hmm.
i.e. a baby. So but with queer people, how do you plan for that? You want that, but then you are so scared to kind of think that much into the future,
Sure.
because you don't know whether it will happen to you, whether
Yeah.
you don't know whether it can
Yeah.
ever happen to you.
Exactly,
So
and that actually makes sense, because so much of our idea of what a gay relationship is supposed to be, is still reliant on what we see in movies
yeah.
and what we see in TV shows. Which is why sometimes a show like Schitt's Creek comes along, and you really realize that, oh my god, I've not been seeing this side of a gay relationship at all, which is just simple happy,
Yeah.
two people
Yeah.
who are happy to be. But that's a different thing. For me, I feel like it's the choice. A lot of times I feel like, I'll tell you why. I have a few friends who are in relationships, again, with this whole lens of the pandemic
Hmm.
being a thing, right? A lot of them have kind of, even though they are in relationships, long distance relationships, or somehow their boyfriend is stuck in a different city, they are in a different city, and all of that, I feel it's at the core of it. Choice is what suddenly makes you feel like you're scared to commit, basically.
Like,
And I'll tell you
what do you
why.
mean?
I'll tell you why.
Sorry,
I'll
go
tell you
ahead.
why. Because today, I, how do I say this in an example? We are all those kids that are in Charlie's Chocolate Factory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Today, my options are, and we've discussed this at length in like episodes like Fuck Buddies and all,
Hmm.
where, okay, this person is so funny. I really want to be with this person, but he's kind of vain. This person has a great deck, but he's kind of this. This person has. We suddenly have all these. We have people who's fit in not boxes, but who like individually bring something to the table, and sometimes it just becomes very difficult because we forget that we still expect one person to come with everything into our lives, and
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. So until that happens, we don't commit. I don't know. That's my understanding of it, and
No,
I
so I
feel like
mean,
looking or
it's
scrutinize own.
it's fair. I mean, what you're
I
saying.
genuinely don't find. Again, like I said, right, there are 10 boys I would date in a
Hmm.
heartbeat, but when it actually comes to it, I know this person. This guy is a little. This is a
Yeah.
flaw. This is a this, and the internet has made it that it's so easy, right? I don't know if I spoke about this in a previous episode, but I'll just bring it up again. I was at a party once, and I saw my friend on Tinder. Yeah, and he was swiping at the speed of a straight guy, straight guy. He
Hmm.
was swiping at the speed of light, left, right, left, right, left, left, left. So I sat beside him and I was like, okay, I know what you're doing. Just continue doing. But whoever you swipe left, you have to tell me why you swipe left. Okay. And this guy's like, I don't like her pout. Her earlobes are too long. I don't like this kind of crinkly perm style hair. It was all
Hmm.
obviously visual based, because that's another thing that online dating has done for us, right? Uh, but what I was trying to say, when I saw that, I realized, fuck, I am guilty of the same thing. I dismiss people so easily now. And when you dismiss so much, it becomes a habit of
Hmm.
dismissing becomes a habit, that when actually something real happens, where so much acceptance has to happen, right?
Hmm.
Where dismissing is something actually that you have to put aside, because you have to accept the person for what.
Yeah.
That has suddenly, the weightage of accepting someone has become so much that it feels overwhelming. And under that pretext, I feel like it's very difficult for me to commit sometimes, because I have to accept so much about this person. And whether it's things like, and they will sound petty if I spell them out.
Hmm.
I'll give you an example. Last to last year, there was this beautiful boy I was kind of having a fling with, but he had this habit of constantly mothering me in terms of, Ari, you look tired. Why don't you sleep more? Ari, if you're not feeling well, do this. Ari, that kind of mollycoddling kind of. That was the only thing that was irritating about him. Which actually, if you think about it, is kind of sweet also, right? He's looking
Hmm.
out for me constantly, and I was frantic. I was a little frazzled in my mind about a few things or whatever. But he was being very caring. That's the reason I suddenly started ghosting him, because he
Hmm.
was so caring. And now, see, ideally, in any situation, I should have accepted that, oh, okay, this person cares for me. I need to start seeing that as caring, instead of like
Hmm.
getting irritated by it, being so
Yeah.
like, I don't need to be cared for. I'm so self dependent, self this, self that, and whatever. And that was also in its own way kind of a eye-opening thing for me, that wow, maybe I find tough committing is because I still, in a different way, even though I like to believe I don't, I still in a different way feel like a person should be everything, and
Yeah.
that's
No, I relate
something.
to that a lot because a large part of, so while I might not, I spoke to you about the whole idea of me being clear, but
Hmm,
me being clear also sometimes entails this whole idea of
hmm,
um, am I feeling cornered? Am
hmm,
I feeling like I'm being smothered? Am I
hmm,
feeling like this person's too much in my business, or
hmm,
am I feeling like this person's too distant?
hmm,
uh Nothing's good enough for us.
hmm,
And that's, I think, I know what you mean when you say uh the curse of plenty, where what's happening to us is also the fact that while we can say all we want, the fact
hmm,
that we are not looking for perfection, in our mind subconsciously there is always this voice
hmm,
that subliminally and subconsciously says that yeah, there's someone better, like there's someone better
hmm,
who's going to be the next one.
hmm,
So don't
hmm,
commit yet to this one,
hmm,
because this
hmm,
person's like halfway there.
hmm.
The truth is probably 99% of people will be halfway there. So what, you don't commit to anyone. So what do you do?
Exactly. That's what ends up happening, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so how do we resolve this? How do you resolve this? Like
Oh, I
okay,
feel like I'm far from a resolution.
same here. Like I feel like the only resolution for us as a, and again, not the whole community, but like-minded people like us who've kind of become self-sufficient to a fault, maybe,
Hmm, hmm,
is the idea of a commune, is the idea of a communal living, like a communal relationship
yeah.
where you are in a relationship with multiple people, where
Okay. That's
like like in the sense that this is what I mean is the idea that you have your idea of perfect,
hmm,
and you
hmm,
find that idea of perfect in multiple people,
hmm.
and so it's like this communal sort of a relationship, but that's really complex, so I
I
don't
know.
know.
I don't know if that's the direct solution to a computer. Like, hey,
That's
communal living in Lonavala. Come on. I don't know. But I feel like
It's definitely not the
I'll
direct
tell you why.
answer.
Okay, I can try and answer this, or at least off the top of my head. This is like instant. Sometimes I feel like I therapize something that I'm trying to process, and I feel out of that, even that should be an inward process. I guess when we think about commitment, everything we've said right now so far has been like, oh, self this, self that, and all of that. But sometimes maybe we see commitment as an external thing, right? Like
Hmm.
it's something that can only be done by shouldering with someone else. So it can't be entirely my headache because someone
Hmm,
else is
hmm, hmm.
also going to add to this, right? But
Yeah.
I feel if I had to, if I feel ready right now in life to commit to a certain thing, to a certain relationship, at least, I know what I need to do, and I guess that's the best I can do in terms of like knowing now that hey, it is stupid to constantly feel like, oh, if this person comes in my life, does that mean I can't like go through the other whatever, all the other things, which do I suddenly have to clamp down on certain
Hmm, hmm,
parts of
hmm,
my
hmm, hmm.
life, right from like I don't know, I'm this is something very small, but I repeatedly wonder how will I share a bed with someone after 5 years of being single. I do not know. I do not know what if this person wants to cuddle all the time, because no. uh, what if this person what I don't these it's literally broken down on a level now, this
Hmm.
whole isolation of 5 years. I'm not even saying
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
romantic isolation, I'll call it,
Yeah.
of 5 years has literally broken down everything. So for me to kind of pinpoint that, okay, all I need to do to commit is bring my A game, first of all.
Hmm.
Yeah, that I do the best I can to make something work. That committing to a relationship does not mean suddenly having to limit myself or cut everything out of my life or anything. So I guess that's my solution, which is I can work on myself more, I guess, which is probably the solution for everything in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny, you know. I was looking up what podcasts are there on commitment issues. Can you hear me? Sorry,
No.
I felt like I froze for a second.
Yeah, you did.
Wow, there are entire podcasts about commitment issues. We are on one episode of commitment issues, but there are entire podcasts dedicated to commitment issues. Yeah. Is there anything else we are missing on the topic?
Um, what would you commit to? What kind of a situation today, as of now, as of like this
Okay.
time, this second?
Yeah.
What kind of a situation would you be ready to commit to as of today?
Uh okay. In a way, it's an easy answer. Someone who accepts me as much as I've accepted myself and knows that I will accept them the way they are. That's number one. If if I find that, I feel like that's the key for me in a relationship. If someone else has
But when you say accepts me for who I am,
the
uh,
way I have, the way I have.
okay.
So again, it's an easy answer for me because I know I'm not a dick.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know I'm not an asshole who's. I never want to hurt someone. I never want to. I'm fundamentally my heart is in the right place. Yeah. So with all that accept, and I've had to work towards that, right? Not that I was a dick ever, but like I kind of with age, I kind of understand how cheating feels.
Hmm.
I know how these things are in a relationship, right? Hiding and not being honest. And I just don't want to focus on that side of it, but like just being disinterested and just being boring. And, you know, I get what is required now for a relationship. And Gaga is entertaining, you know. What is she
She's
doing?
she has these towels that, like, she has a towel.
Like a
Uh,
tug towel for dog.
no, so this
Huh.
is her bath towel.
Okay.
She's gotten hold of it. It was hanging on a lower sort of a hook.
Okay.
So she's
Okay.
gotten hold of it and she's sleeping next to me, but
Yeah.
she's treating it like she's killed a fucking rat. Like she's showing it off like, hey, I've killed it. Have you
Amazing.
have you noticed it? But yeah.
Yeah. So coming back, that's what I'd commit to. If someone just and someone who keeps it easy, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's it's so important. I sometimes feel like what my idea of a relationship is and what someone else's idea is still pretty outdated. I feel like anything can be talked through without
Mm,
fighting. And
mm,
there are all
mm.
these notions that, oh, you need to fight in a relationship, it's
Oh no,
healthy,
yeah.
and there
No, you
needs to be
can
some.
disagree. You don't need to
You can
fight.
disagree, you can even fight. You can
Yeah,
even fight,
sure.
right? But like, I feel like for the right reason,
Yeah,
everything should be for a common goal should be shared. At the
yeah.
moment, I find that level of acceptance and that kind of, hey, we both want to be better people and this is what we want to achieve, again without defining it early on. If we are constantly moving forward and loving the journey, then I am in. I'm 100%.
Mm.
But wow, fuck knows when that will come along. But yeah, I'm open. I'm open. Answer this for me? And I don't know if this is just a variation of something I already asked you earlier, but
Mm.
it's over, and a relationship opportunity has presented itself.
So, I think what I would be able to commit to is someone who will be okay to go along with me on the ride. Like there are things I want to do in the next few years, and I don't want us to limit each other. Like
Sure.
I don't want to limit the other person, but there is a way to kind of not limit each other and still do your own thing
Hmm.
despite challenges.
Yeah.
I would be okay to commit to something like that. And what I mean is, in terms of career, in terms of things
Travel.
you want to travel,
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a dog, things like that, which
Hmm.
are almost non-negotiables.
Hmm.
um, and of course, enough distance and enough intimacy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
those are two things that I hope someone understands. I would be
Sure.
able to commit to someone who understands. And the last thing is, there has to be some common ground in terms of us bonding over when it comes to life, when it comes to, and I don't mean we need to like the same kind of movies, or we need to like the same kind of music. What I mean is, we need to have um, the same kind of, a similar kind of
Synergy. Yeah.
zest for life. Like, I'll give you an example. If someone uh, feels like, I would be happy to commit to someone um, who feels like the high point of their weekend is going to be trying out a new cuisine with
Hmm.
me,
Hmm.
and I would love that. And it
Hmm.
would be an exploration. And that's what I mean by journey, because
Hmm.
I constantly like to be on a journey,
Hmm.
a journey which is culinary, geographic,
Hmm.
art wise. I
Hmm.
love exploring. And
Yeah.
someone who would be okay to do a couple of those things together, but also would have their own things to do.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I would be okay to be exempt from that.
Hmm.
So, yeah. And of course, there is that. Yeah, that's what I would be okay to commit to. And
Yeah.
just like you said, no drama, no, um like, I shouldn't feel like, this is work.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
should feel effortless. It should.
It's so funny. I'll give you a quick anecdote from my life. My ex-boyfriend, this is when Ad Labs Imagica was a new thing. Yeah. He was he wanted to go to Ad Labs Imagica, which scared the shit out of me instantly. Not only scared, but I find,
Excuse me.
what's the point of a fucking roller coaster, right? They're so stupid. Like, you strap yourself on, it scares the shit out of you, and then it stops. It's probably one of the
i
most
I
stupid.
love it.
Just adventure parks are so stupid, yeah.
I
But
love adventure
oh, you
parks.
love
I
those. Oh,
love it.
I thought you love the how acidic I'm being
No,
about
no,
it.
no. I love adventure parks.
Yeah. So Ad Labs Imagica is a new thing. His birthday was coming up, and he was like, "I want all of us to go to Ad Labs Imagica." And in passing, he said, Farhad, you have to go on all the rides with me, because he already knew I'm going to be like, I'm just going to stand. I know, not my, I'm too old for this shit. I'm going to be that person, right? But I was in love with him. I was madly in love with him. So a week before his birthday, without telling him, I actually went to AdLabs to sit on all the rides, so I get accustomed to everything, just so that when the day actually comes, I'm not a naysayer. Like, I'm already used to everything. I know, okay, I'm not going to die, all of it. Now, the funny thing is, I was hating him for this. While I was all those rides, my hate was concentrated, like guava juice concentrate. Okay, like, I'm gonna have to do this again next week. Fuck this! I hate him. Why should I have to do this and all of that? All of that. At the same time, okay, I know this other couple, my best friends. They've been together for like a decade now, almost. And they've been together, and one of them wanted to go to Germany to do a course, okay, to study for a year. And I was there when they were discussing it. Dude, there was not even a slight hiccup of, but what about our relationship? Does this mean for a year we'll be long distance? In a second, the moment this boy was like, oh, I'm thinking of going to do this course in Germany and all of that, the boyfriend was like, amazing, this place is beautiful, I've been there, you can do this, I can visit you in this month, it'll be beautiful in the season, this, that. And I was like, that's it. That right there it was, like you said, right now, someone who aligns with your future, this, right, in some way. And I felt like this would be a big deal breaker, ideally, had I not seen an example in front of me where it was unfazed. And not only that, that boy went for a year. His boyfriend visited him. Eventually he did come back after his course. They're still a couple. They live together. And I was like, wow, okay, that's like, no, it's like iron. There are no wrinkles in this sheet. Like, hey, that's what a relationship is.
Yeah.
And I feel like the day I have that, I will fucking commit. I will commit.
Nice.
Yeah,
That
that's
sounds
pretty
good.
much it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay. I guess that's pretty much it on our
Yes.
commitment. If For whoever's listening, don't be commitment folks. Message us on
No, I mean,
Instagram. Commit.
also take your time. Like, it's okay
Yeah.
to not feel like you have to rush into it. Also, there's so much. I completely get the pressure that everyone faces from the society, peer pressure to kind of be in a relationship, and that
Yeah.
causes a lot of us to kind of enter very toxic relationships that aren't good for us, people who
Mm.
aren't good for us, who would be good people but like who aren't good for us.
Yeah.
So take your time, think it through. Like, it's okay
It's so
to.
important what you're saying, because again, in terms of civilization, also where we are in history, we are kind of, these concepts are also changing, right? This
Yeah.
concept of, oh, one person for the rest of your life. Today in 1995, nobody discussed open relationships as much as we discuss them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Polyamory, you name it. These
Yeah.
are all modern concepts. So it's very easy to find yourself stuck. And again, like most things, I feel like if you find yourself beating yourself up for being a commitment phobe, a commitment issue, there's no point doing that, because you're actually just a byproduct of what is happening
Yeah.
in time and in society and in culture. And
Yeah.
how in this today, am I supposed to still uh, go by this old age idea of, oh, I will find the one and then my life will be okay? Or am I supposed to accept that, hey, no, now I need a person who's a companion, who can live my dreams with, while I
Mhm.
live his dreams, and we live each other's dreams, and we grow, and we, those are like these are modern concepts. So it's very
Yeah.
okay to be confused about these things.
Confused. Yeah. And at the same time, just arm yourself with transparency at the end of the day. And I
Mm.
think that's the best you can do, you can wish for, uh to make things convenient and easy for the other person, the other
Mm.
party.
Mm. Mm.
Just be as honest and be as transparent about what you're in it for, what you're looking for, because it ends up being an unraveling sometimes over time, and then that becomes like a, we're too far in this, and then this is like a deal breaker. So I think just, yeah, just be open and transparent and honest. That's about it.
Perfect point to end this conversation
Yeah,
on.
we
Yeah.
shall be back with our last happy section, which is small talk, where we recommend cool things.
Very cool things. Okay,
Yeah,
see you.
see you. Yay! We are back.
Oh,
I don't know why I'm so excited.
wow. Okay.
All right.
Whew.
Yeah. So we are recommending cool things, cool shit that you can savor. Farhad, go right in. What would you want to recommend?
I'm gonna recommend something that recommends things. Okay.
Okay.
Are you on Letterboxd?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Letterboxd, everyone. Okay. If you're a cinema buff, okay, they've not got TV yet. Yeah. But it's the modern movie suggestion website. Do not think it's no streaming. There's no streaming on this. It's literally a movie recommendation platform. I've used it for 2 years. I feel very alone there because that's one of the things that I would commit to. If someone else is on Letterboxd and I found them and I was like, oh, you're also on Letterboxd, let's date right now. But it's probably the most fantastic movie database out there. The reviews there are fucking amazing. They're written by critics, users, directors of the film, actors from the film. They review movies there. My favorite feature of Letterboxd is the fact that they have listicles and very specific listicles. Okay. Like some of them there'll be a listicle like movies for when you feel like you've just woken up and someone shoved their hand in your chest and ripped your heart out. That'll be a listicle, and there'll be like 40 movies. And somehow I feel like, see, that's the thing, right? Me and you, we actively scavenge for movies to watch online. We actually take the effort, right, to find good things to watch. But on Letterboxd, I just get these suggestions for movies that I've never heard of, no matter how much I search everywhere else. It's fucking amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Just get Letterboxd. If you love movies, if you love miniseries, I can't wait for them to add TV shows as and when they do. But yeah, if you're a cinema buff and if you want to know what Hungarian movie to watch tonight or what Chilean short film to go for, Letterboxd is it.
Great.
Yeah, that's my recommendation this week.
Awesome.
Go for it. What's yours?
So here's the thing. Like I think I've made it very amply clear how much I love kick-ass women, like, you know, butt-kicking women. And so I started watching this show a couple of weeks back, and I've been wanting to talk about it, but I wanted it to, and it's a new show. I wanted it to sort of move enough into its season for me to make up my mind about it. And it's this show called The Nevers on HBO and on like Hotstar. It's basically, think about it as X-Men, but in Victorian London, where
I love it already.
Where and basically the mutants over here are called the Touched, and they are obviously being persecuted by society. And basically there's the lead character is this character called Mrs. True, who's just amazing. And there are two characters, Mrs. True and Penance. What I love about these two is the friendship that the two women have. There is this, I think it's one of the purest friendships that I've seen on television, where there is just honesty and love for each other. You care about each other. So Mrs. True is this really powerful woman who rakes shit up, like who's like a trouble creator. She's the one who solves things with her fists. So she's the trouble creator. And Penance is this really sweet, bubbly, effervescent, but brilliant. Like she can read electricity, she can feel electricity, so she's an inventor. So but she's the moral compass almost of the show, and she's the one who kind of keeps Mrs. True sort of in check, because Mrs. True's first instinct is to bash people up. And so just watch this show because it's also very poignant about in terms of its storylines, where you have people being, and you identify with it just the way you identify with X-Men in terms of being queer people and being sidelined and uh being um being paraded as someone's cause. And you feel like, yeah, they are doing that, but do they really understand me? So yeah, that's Gaga.
Yeah.
So yeah, so please watch The Nevers. It's a beautiful show. It's
I'm gonna check it out.
beautifully mounted, amazingly beautiful characters.
Yeah.
It's in a very interesting place, and I just hope that more people come to know of it, because I think it's not being talked about enough. So yeah, so please watch
Okay.
The Nevers.
Will do. Will do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yep. So another week. Let's wrap it up, and I hope all of you are staying afloat. I think staying afloat is enough today. Like, just about staying afloat is enough. So just let's hold on for a couple more weeks, because the
Months.
vaccines are in. I mean, yeah, but the vaccines are in, the vaccinations are happening. So I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic that we will turn
I'm
around the
optimistic of
corner.
not getting COVID, but I don't know how to re-enter society again, honestly. Like, I don't.
With a drink and a steak, like I will. So
Oh my god. Okay.
jeez.
Cool. Sunetro thinks I'm a cowboy from the Midwest. Okay, thank
No,
you.
I meant for myself, because
Acha.
I haven't had, like, I'm off red meat, and but anyway, coming
Okay.
to
On that sad note,
yeah.
we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for
Yeah.
listening to us. Please keep your suggestions coming. Please DMing us. That's what I
Please
was
DMing us.
Please DMing us. Yeah, and we'll see you guys next week with another episode. Thanks.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye.